No, it happens. It happens. It happens. We're having fun with this though. So yeah, everyone knows the pod is a roll on from the Insta lives during lockdown. It's a beautiful summer's English day outside, as you can see. We've moved it inside, and we've got Man Like Rebel with us today.
Love for having me.
Well, go on.
No, and we good, man. We good. Just gearing up to release a lot of music. That part of the year, man. So I'm
well,
excited.
I know you've been working. You Boris backed from the block.
What can I say?
man's working. Don't act like you like. Yeah, we're kind of working. Nah, man's working.
Yeah, trying. Trying a little something.
No. But it's good to hear that. Obviously, big up Shady. Shady put me on to you.
Trust me, big up Shady.
I know. What's the show you guys were doing? I forgot the name of it.
It was Word on the Street.
Word on the Street.
So it's like an open mic, hip hop, spoken word event.
Yeah. I think I caught. She sent me some kind of content for it, and I read it and I liked it. I did say to her like, what's going on with this Rebel kid? So she sent me the single. Quite shocked by the single. Now I've met you, I was kind of like, "Wow, man's got bars." Like it was the single. The single for me was very like punchy, and you're very like a very laid back character. So I was kind of like, "Oh, okay, he's from Ends." You can't hide that. Yeah. You're from Ends. It is what it is.
What can I say?
But content wise, I'm definitely feeling where you're at with it. So we're gonna deep dive into like where that came from. So. From a creative standpoint, when did you first get into music and why?
So for me, it was kind of weird. It's like I come from what I consider a musical family. I wouldn't say so much that like anyone really pursued it in its entirety, but there was always like a DJ. My dad DJ'd, my mum sang a little bit. My cousins are the ones who actually got me spitting. So one of them just happens to be my producer, one of my main producers at the moment, Captain. So shout out Captain. He used to spit. Our older cousin Tony Black used to spit as well. So they just got me into it. Before I was even ready to, I just loved hip hop. I loved
like bars in from whenever.
And all of these guys, and it was like, no, you need to spit. We're doing it. You need to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna write you an 8-bar. Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. And I was like, no, it's not for me. And then all of a sudden, I just found myself reciting it, and that was it. Literally, it was history, and that was. I can't even count anymore. I think maybe about 15 years ago, to be honest.
So even like, I remember that. Like, I remember my first encounter with counting bars. Like, for then, you were just spit into when the tune done, innit?
Yeah.
Innit? Like
they're the ones that actually taught me structure, and it's funny because now I've lost count again. It's like it's a feeling. It's not so much actually counting bars anymore.
Yeah,
I can just feel when this is an 8-bar, this is a 16.
Yeah.
It's jarring to some extent because I feel like you've been doing this for ages. You're supposed to know.
You should know. Like, but it's weird though. Even when like producers will send me stuff, and I'm like, this feels wrong. Like I'm rapping for too long.
Yeah.
What they done? And they haven't formatted the tune, so that's why you're, But again, you generally know when to start and stop. So, I feel like you're from my era of rap. So, what were like your early rap influences? You said Busta.
Busta, yeah, 100%. I think. As a child, I gravitated to the animated MCs more so. So Luda, was next in line for me after Busta. Then who would I say came after? M, but I feel like I caught onto the M wave a lot later than everybody else did.
Okay. But more like that's like the Eminem LP, right?
But I would say I caught on properly around like Encore. Yeah. So
wow.
That's what I'm saying, like properly. Of course, he was on MTV Base and so on and so forth, and I like the singles here and there. But actually listening to a body of work, I never really did that with M until around Encore, and then I just backtracked. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, you missed out, man. Encore is like. He's finished.
Yeah. Arguably so, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I love that about music as well, though. Like finding people that might have been here for a long time. And I hope people feel that way about me when they come across some of my content. Okay, raw, like, I like this, I love this. But oh shit, they've got a catalog, like a back catalog that dates back like 5-10 years.
And you can deep dive into it.
Yeah, and like I enjoy that. Yeah, I enjoyed it with him, and I enjoy it with anyone I find to this day. Like, you've got something from 2016. I kick myself a bit, like, I should have been onto it.
But even like, because mixtape season kicked in, and I still find stuff from guys now, and I'm like, when did this come out?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, and I enjoy it. Just out of the love for music, man.
Looking at those guys that you've picked, though, they're very lyrical guys. Busta Rhymes, people don't realize it's because he's so energetic. He's a very lyrical guy. Same for Luda. You know, very animated, but listen to what he's saying.
Exactly.
You know,
there is a skill set somewhere. Like
it's very I don't think Ludacris really gets his roses really as a lyricist. I've been a big fan of Eminem from Slim Shady LP. Like lyrically wise, he was coming for guys' head tops. So. Yeah, I'm right there with you. So obviously, so now you've chosen. Okay, look, I'm gonna bars. When do you start saying, okay, I'm gonna drop some music? I'm gonna say, let's put some music out there.
So what kind of happened was, I was leaving secondary school, and so this is 08. Yeah, I'm leaving secondary school, and I'm not quite sure what it is I want to do. Everyone's going off to college or sixth form. And I said, you know what? I'm always getting love from the mandem and the ciphers and stuff like that, and like anywhere else I go. And that's all it was back then. It was the school ciphers in the playground or with the mandem or whatever.
I was out there.
Yeah, I wasn't really jumping. We were recording tunes on like them budget Argos mics. Yeah, the ones like literally them small things we'd hang on the door.
Yeah.
But
I could make a pop off from sock and that.
You see what I mean? Yeah, that's literally what it was. Yeah. But other side from doing a tune here and there, I said to myself, okay, I don't really know what I want to do. I'm just going to study music tech. So I went to college, and I just so happened to meet quite a few interesting characters there. Two artists to whom I ended up in a group with. We did a bit of house, funky house together and stuff like that. Yeah. We got quite a lot of love in the ends from that. And I think that point, it was like, okay, I really want to do this, because everything that I had done up until that point, I just enjoyed it. I was just being myself on a rhythm, and people were gravitating towards that, like from the ciphers at school to now being at college. Like it kind of just hit home. And then not long after, we started doing the thing that a lot of artists did back then, is trying to chase the last single or chase like a commercial.
You're trying to chase the sound.
Yeah. And we tried something, but again, this was an experiment. We tried something, and then Specsavers picked it up, so we got the track got synced to a Specsavers ad in 2010.
Oh, that's freaking huge. That,
and obviously between the three of us, we saw a bit of bread from that. I was sold at that point.
Yeah, you were like, this is me.
I was like, this is it. Yeah. I mean,
I don't need nothing else.
Yeah, not interested in nothing else. It's got to be music or something music related from that point. So that, again, that was about between 08, 2010. Well, the ad was in 2010. So that was kind of when I was like, yeah, 100%. I can do this now. I'm doing this.
Yeah. That's a mad one. I don't think I've ever heard of someone kind of fall into it like that.
It was mad how it happened, though. It was
Pick up
mad.
Specsavers.
Yeah, trust me. Yeah, you want to put the advert back on TV?
Yo, get some residuals. You know, keep playing that.
That'd be nice.
Spin it out, bro. You know, Black Lives Matter. Come on, man. But like, no, it's dope. I said that's really interesting way to. I know so many people that don't hit that or don't even realize that music can be placed like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't. Up until that point, I genuinely didn't.
Well, it's definitely someone in the team like realized that we got PRS, we can get royalties, you know, move it around. So you've definitely fell into something really cool there. So okay, so you're chasing the sound, which is what we all kind of end up doing. I always feel that happens. Is I know funky house kind of faded out.
Unfortunately,
how long were you doing the group? Do you go from the group to being solo now?
Yeah. So we were together. It originally actually started off 5 of us, when we were making house, and then when we got to the point, once we got to the point where we got the Specsavers sync deal, it was just the 3 of us. But as you know, with a lot of groups, there's tensions between the 3 of us. I was coming away from being in love with grime and solely writing like bars for grime music to really falling in love with writing hip hop. I've always loved hip hop, but actually being comfortable on 70 BPM, or 90 BPM even. So I started exploring that, but they wanted to continue chasing the hits, but because they were of African descent as well, they started to get cut, and that was around the time that Afrobeats was just starting. I feel like in the UK really starting to evolve and come to the forefront. So they were starting to find their feet in that genre, but that coupled with the tensions between us, we all just kind of went our separate ways. And admittedly, they're doing better than me now. And big ups to them. Do you know what I mean? Like regardless of whatever issues we had, but we pretty much disbanded in 2010. I dropped a mixtape in 2011, and I was comfortable at that point. I was happy to
put music out and
put
be
by
creative.
myself, as a solo artist. I felt like I was starting to find my feet.
It's very. I feel like your music, from the small parts I've heard of it, is lyrically very thought out. So like when you're writing music, what is the won't say demographic, because kind of get that, but what's the kind of like headspace you're trying to reach? Like, who are you trying to reach with that music?
It might sound weird, but myself, like of course, I'm writing music in being aware that, you know, this is going to be consumed by other people, but it's got to make sense to me. It's got to capture exactly what I'm feeling or the point that I'm trying to make, but it's also got to feel good. Yeah. And it's not so about, you know, not so much about being super lyrical or being super techie even. It's just, you know, have some, like, show your skill set in there somewhere, but just really be yourself unapologetically and paint the picture that it is that you're trying to paint overall here.
Yeah, it's like a therapy session almost.
Yeah, exactly. And I was literally coming around to that. Like, for me, even with some of the, like, maybe more playful songs that I've written, I enjoy going back sometimes and just listening to my old catalogue. Like, I actually can take myself back to where I was at the time. Yeah, listening to some songs quite honestly have made me cry. Yeah, like,
because it's that memories, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like rejigging your brain.
And knowing that I really did capture what it was I was feeling inside at the time. I forgot the question.
No. So you answered it anyways. Yeah, what do you think you're making music for? And you said you're basically making it for yourself, and it's good though, because you're getting into your own mood, and you're making music from a sincere place. And I always feel like when you're making music about your day-to-day life, there's always gonna be somebody out there that's gone through the same thing. You know, one of my main focuses, my main like things I live by is running and reading, because there's no book out there. There's no one out there that hasn't gone through exactly what you're going through or similar to it. You will find a book on it at some point in time. And I relate that to music. You know, if you write music and put it out to the world, I guarantee you'll find somebody that has gone through something very similar to it or is in it right now. Yeah. You know, and that's what popular music is. It's that's why people make so many songs about relationships. Like, we're all in it.
We're all going through that, whether we like it or not.
If you like it or not, it's part of your life, isn't it? So, yeah, like, I'm definitely I want to deep dive into the rest of the project, because I didn't get a chance to listen to all of it. But so, like, creatively wise, obviously you're doing the show and you're working around other artists, but what was the thought behind doing the show? Is it just something that you thought the area needed?
That was, to be honest with you, that was Shay's baby. Yeah, I joined. Me and Shay had a conversation, and again, Shay, big up Shay, being somebody who's always about empowering other people as best as she can. We were having a conversation, and I expressed to her that, you know, I struggle with my stage presence, and I'd like to improve that. And she was like, well, why don't you try hosting? And I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. And I felt cool. I felt quite uncomfortable with it majority of the time. But I started to feel a bit more comfortable just being able to make mistakes and, like, laugh at myself and not feel so, like, cringe about it. Or whatever.
Not so rigid with it.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And that really was my involvement in it. Obviously, you know, I'd assist in terms of promoting the event and so on and so forth, and flyer in for it as well. But really, word on the street, it is Shay's baby. Shay would be able to give you, like, a much more well-rounded.
We gonna get Shay. Shay, I'm coming for you.
But yeah, that was definitely Shay's baby. But for me, that was kind of just like a personal project to try and improve my stage presence.
I feel like it worked. You sound very positive about what you're doing musically, and you sound very, like, vibrant about it. I've even with my children, I'd kind of teach them the same thing: stand up, like talk, but treat it like it's okay to get it wrong. You know, like, even these pods, people always say to me, Jay, you talk really well on these pods, and I'm like, bruv, man just started talking one day, innit? Yeah. Like, if I get it wrong, I get it wrong. But, like, when you talk to people in the normal conversation, you might miss a word or you forget something, or just being okay with that. And I think that is a huge part of stage presence. Like you said, like, I think it's a great place to learn. So big up to her for even throwing you into that. So you said you got the project out now. Is this you got a single dropping now, right?
Yeah, so I've got a single dropping tomorrow. It's called Done Out Warriors. I
heard that one. Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed.
I was quite shocked when I saw the title. I was like, "Done Out Warriors." Man, who's he sending for? It's got to be another whole Stormzy Dwelly thing out here. But let's so.
But I've in terms of a project. So the last project I released was at the tail end of 2018. It was called Cycles. Okay. And quite frankly, I feel like to date I've got the most love for that from that piece of music than I have anything else. And going back to what we were talking about before, I got the most love from that because I stopped caring completely about how everybody else was going to receive the music. I just did it for myself and myself only. And some of the same people I used to, like, i.e. my cousins and friends that share the same music taste as myself, like, I used to aim to please them and it didn't work. But the one time that I said, I don't care about it, this is for me.
Just have it, innit? Like it on
the blessings and the love just came back. Oh, I love this song or the project. No, you smashed it, man. Give me some of the stickers. Get me a hoodie. Like,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Put it out there, innit? But that's how you gotta be. And I think that's when you win. When you
exactly.
just let go. Universe, do what you're doing.
Definitely. And now it's like that's how I create now even more. So it's like if I get an idea and I want to express myself that way, I want to sing a little bit for a moment, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, no rules.
Yeah,
that's my new hashtag. No rules.
Agreed.
So is that? So what's that single called again?
Done Out.
Is that available on all platforms now?
That will be, well, I'm pretty sure by the time everyone sees this, it will definitely be available. So it's available tomorrow, which is the 28th.
Which is Spotify, Deezer.
Yeah,
all
digital platforms.
All them things there. Yeah, man, you gotta use them, man. Keep telling people we're in a new age now. Like this whole record label thing. Sure. Like do it yourself. Everything can be done yourself. You know, artwork wise, are we getting a video for that one?
I'm working on that. Because I mean, again, as I'm sure you can imagine, a lot of us like independent artists and stuff are not necessarily in the position to kind of capture the vision that we actually have.
Yeah, I hear that.
I mean, I used to be quite raggle with it before. It was just like, look, I've got a camera or I've got this much in it. Let's make do with what we got here in it.
Man's got a block.
Yeah. And let's just smash it out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, just going through this even more, I'm caring about attention to detail in so much different places now. And with this particular single, there is a genuine message I'm actually trying to get to here. I mean, it's a bit opinionated, but I'm one human. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have a very clear vision of how I want the video to look.
Yeah.
And it may not even cost a great deal, but I've just got to pull a few strings to make this happen.
But simply, you know, Uncle always said less is more. So like simplicity is you can get the message across.
Most important thing.
That's it, man. You know, there's so many videos that came out during lockdown that really made me, you know, see that. You know, you're seeing people doing videos in their bedroom. You know, put the camera up on the speaker. Let's roll. Yeah. You know, it's it's very doable. So yeah, never like put too much emphasis on extra crap for videos. Like, long as you get your message across and it's to the point, good to go, man. You know, that's it there, man. I'm gonna jump into the there's no place like home question round now. I've been asking everybody. So yeah, the meme came out and I literally just said I like it. It was cool. So 5 albums you can't live without.
Oh God. I thought about this, because somebody sent me the meme and I was like, I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
You got so many. You were like, bun all of you.
No, forget it. Yeah, me, Dylan.
He said me 5 times. Listen to me.
Yeah, because it's so difficult. There's so many different songs or albums, EPs that like spoke to me at a certain time. But I'm gonna just try and freestyle it and just. We all know. The joke is though.
Yeah. I asked everyone, but we all know them. Like, you know.
One for sure. Yeah, it's Solange's Seat at the Table.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, that's like a lot more recent, but to me, it was a flawless album. It was amazing. Yeah, I could go on for ages about it, so we're gonna move on. So definitely Seat at the Table. I'd have to say Reasonable Doubt, and not necessarily because that's my favorite Jay album, but sonically and the feel for it, and like
it changed a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like it suits whatever time.
Yeah,
you're listening.
You can
to
bump
it
that now.
Yeah,
as you're just feeling G music, just G music in it. For me, it is the beginning of something. So I definitely and people don't even realize that's when he flipped his flow. Yeah, remember, he was fast tempo before that.
I mean, I hadn't listened prior, but
to
how he used to spit. But I've always heard that in these hip hop documentaries. Jay never used to spit like that at all.
Yeah.
So do you know, like definitely, that has to be part of it. It's such a tricky one. So I've named 2.
You got 3 to go. You can do EPs, you can do singles. I'm from the old school of tape packs, mate. So
it's so annoying because there's so many. Ludacris's Word of Mouth.
Classic. That front cover was mad.
Yeah, loved it. Again, just that whole animated thing. I just loved it. Yeah. And I'm only choosing Word of Mouth because it's like I love the album, but it's like you can't be on my top 5. So we've done 3.
Yeah.
Can we think of songs or singles? At this stage, it's a song, and I feel like it didn't get the attention it should have done. Have you heard of Jesse James Solomon before? Like he's been alongside Skepta in places, A2.
It sounds familiar,
Suspect.
but I don't even want to commit to it.
Yeah, to say, you know,
yeah, yeah.
But he's got a song called Medusa with a few other guys, and like that song was just therapy. It's therapy even when I don't feel like I need it. Yeah?
Just hits it hits that place. Yeah.
It's almost perfect to me. This is going to be so controversial, but I'm separating the music from the individual here. But R. Kelly's Chocolate Factory was very.
Do you know what I thought you was gonna say?
Yeah.
Alarms are going off right now. Yo, don't subscribe.
Yeah, no,
don't unsubscribe.
And don't stream it either. Don't stream that album. What I just said. Don't do it because I don't do it either. Yeah, please make sure because he's done out. Yeah, he's a done out warrior. Yeah, we're not doing that.
But it happened. The music happened.
Yeah, but the music happened.
I thought you was gonna say 12 play. Because I'm like, yo, for me, it's okay. 12 plays, like, whether you like it or not, yo, the album's fire.
My dad would probably say that, but and he's not. Unfortunately, he's not letting R. Kelly go. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to do it. The music has been like.
Do you know what baffled me about that whole issue is that I'm a huge fan of Boondocks.
Same.
And they touched on it
so early,
so long ago, but we're still having this same argument.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo.
It spoke to our culture in a lot of ways. Huey, should I say?
Yeah,
spoke to our
culture.
Stop
playing around here.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And we continued.
Hide the camcorder. Help him.
Get him some therapy.
Do something. Because man, them just let him go. And I always say with musicians, especially great musicians, you give them so much allowances. And I'm like, especially for our culture, we have to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
You gotta say, bruh, no. Because if you done that from the beginning, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So, and I was quite shocked. I was out in Greece quite recently, and I literally was just eating my lunch, and friggin' Ignition just came on, and I'm like, so we're just gonna ignore this?
Yeah.
Like, barman's bubbling. I'm like, no, we can't do this. We can't. And I remember saying to him, like, yeah, you got to skip that tune, bro.
Trust me, anytime and anywhere, it's like, look, as much as I said for a moment, just because you asked me about albums, as a body of work, I remember us living, like me, my cousins, my dad, we were living to that album like for months on end. There's so much memories I can attach to
whether
that.
you like it or not, it's got a moment in the thing. So like his tune the I Wish remix.
Oh my god!
But it came out for me in such a time where like my mum passed away around that time. So it's one of them tunes that came out at that moment. So whether I dislike him or not, it's part of my life now. I'll always hear that remix and it will always stick with me. So whether I like it or not,
the same thing.
I can't shake it. You know. So when people and I'm honest, I've always said that people they will look at my catalog and I'm a like DMX, Nas are the reason why I even jumped into music. But my first ever tape that I purchased, and you're gonna laugh about this. My first ever tape that I bought for £1.99 from HMV was Will Smith, Millennium.
I had that album as well.
Do you know how?
And I got it from Woolworths.
Bruv, man spun that tape till it was dead because it was my money. And I remember going in the shop thinking, yo, it's a single. I'm looking and I'm like, I'm standing in the right here. Yeah, I was in it. But then I remember playing it to the death and my brother was like, right, I've had enough of this. And he came downstairs with the massive freaking Safeway bag. Big up to all your crew that know about Safeway. And he dropped a bag and it was just albums. And he was like, they're yours. You're going to learn about music today. And it was like, R. Kelly's 12 playing there, Ideal, SWV was in there, Wu-Tang, Iron Flag, and that was like my education of music. So suddenly you were like, oh, right, okay, maybe Will Smith isn't my route, but I'm gonna have to change this a little bit. But like it generally it's part of you. Music, whether you like it or not, what the person does, you know, prior to that, after that, you can't. It happened now. The song happened and it's part of you. So yeah, definitely, I love your honesty with that as well, man. So it makes perfect sense. So that project's out now. What music are you working on currently now? Any collaborations and stuff?
Yeah, so I collaborate heavily right now with my guy Solo Meist, who I'm supporting. Like, I wouldn't say managing as such, but it's kind of my roles right now seem to be a bit interchangeable. But it's just trying to help him get off the ground. He's got like such a huge he's been spitting about the same amount of time that I have. He produces as well, so it's just kind of we've been locking in. We've got music that's kind of gone as far back as 2012 that we haven't released, but it's good music. So right now there's so much collaboration. So when we work together, we go by the name Solo Simpson. He's Solo Meist, me Rebel Simpson. So,
okay, cool.
You know, like we switch it up a little bit, but we've kind of got a theme at the moment. We started in April by releasing the breakfast pack. And then it will be like the lunch pack, brunch or brunch pack, then a lunch pack.
Oh, that's dope. I like that
yeah,
narrative.
yeah.
That's cool. That,
Do you see
yeah.
what I mean? So it might consist of 2 songs, 2, 3 or 4, but it would just capture a particular genre or like subgenres, within that particular pack at the time. So we started with grime, and we'll start to move through like maybe a bit more melodic grime, trap, maybe a bit of R&B esque music. So because we've got that kind of music,
You just kind of flow with it. Yeah.
There's that stuff, but right now because Meister's catching up, like he's releasing a hell of a lot. So we're working on them things, but we're just making sure that it's right. We've actually captured that same theme that I was just explaining to you, like properly with the sonic on a sonic level. But in terms of myself, I've got another 2-pack that I'm dropping once I think Done Out has run its course.
Yeah.
But I'd really like to kind of go as far as I can with Done Out, because I think it's such a playful song.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the piss.
But even
at the
that
same
as
time.
like a hashtag, like for me on the Instagram, as I always say to you about less is more.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, a bunch of memes with that.
Yeah.
Do wonders, bro.
Yeah. And that's the kind of space I'm thinking in at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to see where I can take it at the moment and see how people receive the song, and they receive the concept of what I deem to be a Done Out warrior.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of just
explain that a bit more though. Like, what is your thesis on what a Done Out warrior actually is?
It varies in the sense where it's like you've got different people within society that I would consider Done Out warriors. So like on an extreme end, sex offenders, done out. Yeah. Quite a lot of politicians, done out. These youths on the road that are. And the thing is, being somebody who's been a support worker for years on end, I understand a lot of why people end up in gangs and so on and so forth. So this isn't coming from somebody who isn't at least somewhat informed.
Yeah.
But I've met a lot of individuals who don't want to do nothing with their life.
They just want to be there. So.
But they want to tell everyone else what they should be doing and shouldn't be doing as well. And my friend, are a done out warrior. It's like you're taking this whole done out lifestyle to its extreme.
to its extreme level.
You see
You're
what I'm
still
saying?
here on this block.
You see what I'm saying? That's to me what a done out warrior is. People that like, it's almost like they don't get it, but they don't want to actually do anything to be a better person or to be better at whatever it is they say they'd like to pursue or they're interested in.
Yeah.
But have the most talk for everybody
I
else.
hear it. The ones outside the betting shop.
Yeah.
Brother.
Yeah.
I swear to God. Next time I walk past the betting shop and one of them look upon my missus, I'm kicking someone in the head. I get on my stair there.
Avoid, please, for your own good.
No, I get every day. I walk past them and they'll see me by myself. I'm a young man. Something, brother. Wife walk past. I'm like, brother, your old self needs to go sit down somewhere. Do something else or do something. And I never understood why betting shops become the spot to stand outside. Like, was pubs taken? Like when did that generally become the spot where everybody decided, this is the spot to hang out outside?
I don't know. And I guess because I've got the odd family member who,
everybody does. Everybody does.
Sure
and I'm looking at my cameraman. He's rolling now. He's like, everybody has one. When you walk past that betting shop as well with your brethren, and he's like, bro, beg across the road. Because I'm like, because your uncle's
just
there.
In there. He's betting his gyro.
Mate, I used to work in William Hill, and some of the man them I used to see walking in there, I'm like, brother, I don't know how anybody works in William Hill more than 2 weeks because
I've heard so much stories.
I was ready to fight man every day. I'm like, bruv, I had one yard he come up to once and he plays the bet, and I was like, say nothing, come in, give me the thing. It's lost. I see it lose. So, bruv, it's lost, innit? Man, try to give me the full yardie press. Firm up. I miss it. That one. I said, bro, you ain't said nothing but a thing. My mother sounds more scary than you. Go away. Sitting there like, I'm going to see you outside. Cool. It's not a thing to me. To the point where they kept moving me around to all the ghetto shops.
Yeah.
Just man, them are like,
how to deal with people.
No, bruv, don't talk to me. Stop it. Go over there. So, you go in there and they know that works to a certain degree, And I always say, like, people say, like, does racism still exist? I'm like, can I scare you? So, yes, it does. If I walk into a shop and I can drop my voice and say no, and you get scared, that means it still exists. Because I know if a white boy did this, you're not gonna act the same way. So you know, let's just be real with it. You know, I did see a lot of posts coming up from Shady actually during the lockdown with the protests and that. And do you think we've moved past that, or do you think we're the message is still standing with the Black Lives Movement thing? You think we're still pushing for it? Because
I feel like you've asked me a question that I've got so
yeah,
much
do it.
to say on.
Go.
I'm mindful that in places with this particular matter, I'm a bit hard-headed and ignorant. Yeah, so I'm gonna preface it with that. Yeah, but my whole stance at this point is, I'm here, I exist, I'm breathing in front of you. I don't need to tell you my life matters. And I'm not going to either. I'm not posting Black Lives Matter. I'm not posting the hashtag. I feel stupid for telling you.
You should be forced to do it anyway.
I shouldn't have to keep telling you that I'm here. Like, I'm breathing. Like,
yeah,
I don't get what else.
The fact that you have to explain that is quite mad.
We've been doing it for such a long time.
Yeah.
Explaining and reasoning and going off to try and do our own thing, like, as a community. And then that gets spoiled. That gets ruined one way or the next. I don't have the answers, but one thing I do know for sure is that I'm not faulting anybody else if they decide they want to post like a black screen or, you know, protest. I'm not, because at the end of the day, this has to be fought in several different ways that different people have got to take on different roles.
Yeah, you got to take your lane and your action. Yeah.
Right. So I'm not about to police or judge anybody else for what they feel they choose to do to combat this issue. But for me, again, I just don't feel like we've gotten anywhere, and it's quite a bold statement, but I feel it's because we are we do not want to fight. We don't actually want to fight. We shouldn't have to, and I don't particularly want to either. But it seems like, I feel like the only message we're being shown here is like, if you want equality, you got to take that. Yeah, you got to take it. Yeah, otherwise, just roll over the way you have been otherwise and take it. And it sounds so cold for me to say it this way, but I don't feel like I've been given any other, you know, way to look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, just what was it last week or earlier this week? Jacob Blake, I believe it was, shot 7 times, and then you simultaneously you see another video online of a white person that's resisting arrest but gets tasered instead. Where was the taser for Jacob, blood?
Yeah. It's, and like you said, it's like, for me, it's like, to them it was like, all right, let lockdown go and then back to regular schedule programming.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, but that's why I asked, I think, do you feel like the message is being heard, or think we're doing enough? And I think you're right. I think there's a level of it as we can scream and we can shout, but we actually need to do the hard work.
Yeah.
And the hard work is implementing it, being in the boardroom, and I heard something the other day actually, and I so badly wanted to jump into this person's live, and I was like, you know what? I just don't want to ruin it for them, because I hear where they're coming from. But I've had so many people come from an industry level, like career, like up at BBC, Sky, and say, I don't feel comfortable saying what I need to say, so I'll lose my job. And I'm like, yeah, but if you don't say it,
who will?
You know? And if I think if I've taken anything away from the protest, it's that I've generally had, I've got a friend called Tom. He's my oldest friend, white as white, through and through. And he immigrated to Canada. And this is how I saw a little bit of a change. He picked up the phone and called me and was like, Jermaine, you all right? I said, yeah, cool, bro. And he's like, no, I grew up with you in Fulton Heath for, you know, most of our like primary school years. And I don't think I've ever been aware of it, Jay. And we had a dialogue. That had nothing. He would have never. I feel like without those riots and those protests, he would have never have thought to even ask me. So that's what I take away from it. In that, so long as we've got some form of dialogue, okay, but we need to do the work now.
Do you know what? So I'm not so doom and gloom. Just off the back of what you said, I have noticed that, you know, there are a lot more people that outside of our culture or our community that have been a lot more vocal, definitely, and I think that's fantastic. So again, I'm not trying to act like it's like we haven't gotten anywhere, we haven't seen some kind of progress, but then at the same time, I just used Jacob.
It's still a lot more.
There's so much more that we have to do. So it gets difficult to look at the fact that, you know, I'm seeing a lot more people outside of our community that are being a lot more vocal and not having it.
Yeah.
But it's such a long fight that we have to go through before we get to that place. So sometimes it can be so easy for me to be that extremist and saying, well, we might just have to fight. And I'm not saying fight everyone, because evidently we've got allies. Allies, stick with the lit crew over here, because we don't want to trouble no one. Do you know what I mean? But you get where I'm coming
Yeah,
from.
no,
It's
definitely,
it makes
definitely.
it, I feel like for some of us, especially like someone like myself who I consider to be quite passionate,
Yeah.
it gets difficult to not just think, oh, blood, well, I'm ready to fight.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
yeah.
you're not giving me any other
Yeah,
option in it.
yeah, but and I feel like there's so many, like you said touched on earlier. There's so many angles to know where you can have effect. So if the black square, you think you don't have that kind of following that it's gonna affect. I knew for a fact that I have so many youngsters that watch my stuff for information and content. So I knew that square would have value. But if you're in a space where it's not, but you're in a workplace, but by just saying something, then that's your angle. Work from your angle. Never feel pressured into doing stuff because it's just like sheep mentality. Like do something, but do something that's gonna impact. Otherwise, just don't do nothing at all. You just look like you tried too much.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I had so many people doing the black square like a week later, and I'm like, bruh.
Kind of missed the boat.
Right, yeah, happened. You did it because your brethren did it, So I definitely hear that. But how much of an impact do you feel like us as creatives have on the entire situation? Like, as from an artist standpoint, do you think we're the voice of this situation, or can move it further?
I think there's several voices. There can be several different voices in terms of like the kind of roles in which we play in this. But artists, I definitely think we have a lot of power. But then again, I'm kind of on the fence because I just feel like we're trying to change the narrative within the creative industry, but the creative industry, there's a lot of cracks within that as well. So we're still trying to deal with some of these brands and organizations, if you will, that are really taking their time to kind of
ever so slowly.
They're taking their time. So I'm not even going to say I have the answer here, but I just question if maybe again we kind of have to remove ourselves completely from these organizations, these institutes, and create our own. Again, extremely difficult, but we've done it. Our community's done it several times over. We've rehabilitated ourselves. We've strengthened up our actual up the black pound, or dollar, if you will. We've done that before, But again, somebody's come in and tore it
and
down.
it's continuous rebuild.
I feel like that might be an avenue, but again, that takes a hell of a lot of work. I'm not saying that we can't fix the cracks within these institutes, but again, that requires reciprocity, and I don't see us getting as much as we're trying to give. Well, maybe I know you do a lot of youth work, so like, you have done. So so like, I always feel like we may not see it in our livelihood, but I think the youngsters will be the ones, because even though the protests are going on, there's a lot of young people out there doing it, and I have to give so much props to them because they were the ones that were like first online. So I always say I think it's them that are gonna push it, so we can do our best right now to put up those questions, and if we can ask the questions now and they can get them answered, I'm happy to we'll get there. Great things take time. Of course.
One of those things. So definitely. I hear what you're saying from that aspect of organizations being willing to listen, but are they going to listen, and are we going to take power ourselves? So even yourself as an artist, do you feel like that being an artist now is better or worse than what it was? So being record label or being independent?
I think independent looks so lit right now, and I mean, like, for me, just again, being somebody who is interested in so many different areas of this thing, just outside of just creativity as a whole, and wanting to learn so much more. I don't feel like it's the powers with the labels anymore. Well, they still have power regardless. I can't like ignore that.
From like a radio standpoint,
But going forward, where we're at now as well, like I just feel like it's all in the artist's hand, the creative's hands. It depends on how they want to kind of conduct themselves, what it is they want, how prepared they are to achieve that. So I think it's independent is the way at the moment, man. I understand the struggles that come with being independent to some extent.
Tough game, mate.
It sounds stupid because some days I'm like, why do I do this? But I love the struggle. I love it.
It's long in it. Some mornings, like,
because
damn.
I feel like you see when you see the return on investment somewhere along the line. It just to me it depends on what you consider success. So like I count the little successes. Just even this, being in a position where we could be here and like you're happy to have me on the show. Like that doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from me applying myself somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
I don't think, you know, whoever made this happen.
Yeah. Big up Shady.
Big up Shady. Yeah. Right. I don't think this would have happened if she didn't see that I was applying myself to some extent.
To put you in that position. Yeah,
you get what I mean? So for me, that's a success. I'm gonna leave here, and I'll leave here with a Cheshire Cat grin. Like I've done something productive for the day. I left studio working on bits and pieces, sorting out some promo content for Done Out or whatever, and I've come and I'm still doing something that contributes to what it is I want for myself. I do a podcast myself as well. Yeah. So,
but you're in that space as independent. You're in that space to pick and choose what you want to do.
What I want to do.
You know, I spoke to so many people that don't realize that if you get a record deal, that doesn't mean, I've made it. A record deal is a loan.
Yeah.
I can get a loan from the bank and still do what I want to go and do because I still have to pay it back. And as well as that, I know a lot of record deals that, and this is the gem for the artist out here, there's a lot of record labels that will pull you off the scene because they have an artist exactly like you. So they will shelf you. I know so many artists that, especially like, I'm a fan of Def Jam, but they signed in the early days like K Coke and even like where Benny Banks went, and Benny Banks got saved by a lot of stuff, but they signed them just to sign them and then sat them on the shelf to move them out the way. And then 2 years passed and you've missed your window. So what did they do you for? It was a strategic move. So, and I think artists need to be aware of that. If you're going to be independent, be aware that you are in competition with every single other person out there.
Yeah.
You know, you can collab and we can roll, we can do this, but you're a product. Don't let a conglomerate stick you on the shelf because they will. And form no way about it, or you'll get on and it might just be a thing where, you know, we've got, say, for argument's sake, Rihanna's dropping this weekend. You can drop next weekend.
Yeah, and it's not. I've heard, because I didn't pay much attention to that, but I've actually clocked how artists like get scared of that. Yeah, I get it to some extent. I've got certain people that are releasing tomorrow as well. I can't remember. Some big artist is releasing tomorrow. I can't remember who it is, but I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, I'm nowhere
near
there.
That's a losing battle. That
audience
is.
And stuff like that. Like the people that support me, because I'll be honest, I don't necessarily feel like I have a fan base yet. I have supporters.
Yeah,
and I'm happy. I'm grateful. Yeah, but I don't necessarily. My supporters list might listen to these upper echelon artists as well. But they I'm allowed to swear, right?
Yeah, bruv, do you think?
They fuck with me, yeah.
This is yard, bro. There's no place like home. Hashtag no rules.
Obviously, I'm not about to start effing and blinding, but they fuck with me, and I feel like they fuck with me just because they genuinely engage, or they genuinely fuck with my character, who I am as a person as well, because I make that apparent on my social platforms. Do you know what I mean? So I found that people, they just like me, and the music is a bonus. There might be some songs they don't like, they don't get behind, they don't support, but they support me. And I'm good with that.
You just roll with that, man.
I'm good with it.
I think there's, like you just touched on there's so many people that generally, like, because record labels have always dropped that, we can't drop you because so and so's dropping, or we want to put our energy into blah blah blah. Do you know how much music gets dropped on a day? Like, just drop the music, B. Like, trying to say, oh no, Jay-Z dropped this week. Yo, bro. You not on that league.
So don't even worry about
just
it.
Just drop the damn music. It's gonna do exactly the same thing. Like, it was weird actually. Like, big massive Beyonce dropped the Lion King project, right? And she's Beyonce, but I didn't hear it when it dropped. Like, the hour it dropped, I picked up on it. I picked up on it by default. I was literally, because we were going abroad and I was trying to download stuff on my Deezer, so you can listen to it on the plane and stuff. And like, I found it and I thought, let me put it on. And I had a bunch of ironing to do, all the kids stuff, the iron and stuff. And I'm listening to the album, I find myself vibing. I'm like, yo, Beyonce did the thing with this one. And I'm like, I would never go and buy a Beyonce album, but that didn't take me away from hearing something that Maybach dropped, or what KP dropped, or what Melody dropped. I'm gonna hear it whenever. I think back in the day when albums were dropped like twice a year and it was a big deal, with streaming, there's tons of music every day. So I think definitely losing that comprehension of the record label nonsense. Like, record label have so many myths. Like, as an artist, don't have a partner because you're gonna lose it. Oh, shut up, bruv.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Don't compete with. Oh, shut up. Just makes sense.
Do you know what? Funny enough, off the back of what you said, I do feel like now it's become quite a free for all. I could be wrong, because again, there's a lot that I don't know about this industry, but it just seems like a lot of curveballs get thrown, and people, the labels, and a lot of other, like, bigger characters in the scene don't expect some of the things that have taken place. Like,
Yeah.
I can't give an example, like a really good example at the moment, but like I just feel like you've got your independent artists who might drop and on the same day as your bigger artists, but the people of connecting with that more so. Yeah. And no one can explain why that's happened, because it's like it's Jay-Z obviously, but people, the music just resonates with the people more. So
yeah, man.
I don't know. I just feel like with streaming, it is a bit scary. I understand that for some creatives, it's like I don't create like that. I'm not releasing something every 2 minutes.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yo, 1 second. Do you need to go to the toilet? I've seen you pace back and forth for the last 5 minutes. So we could drop there. But I watched him and I was like, I think the rain's got to him. I was like, literally, I saw him going. It's like, he's going to the toilet. Oh God! But no. But even there, from a creative standpoint, I've always been where if you are thinking about your music in a space of, would I watch it? You know, like when Netflix drops a new series, there's a bunch of stuff on Netflix, and that's why I thought, you know, even lockdown now, you can't go out raving. People are paying more attention to it. If you drop content that is engaging, whoever it is, new artist, big artist. It's gonna do the same thing, you know. As long as you understand the landscape of how to put music out, so you know how to put stuff on DistroKid or TuneCore or any of those platforms, and then understand how to put visuals out on YouTube. That's it, mate. You know, if it's good, it was good. That's pretty much it. Exactly. There's nothing else you can do. You know, but yeah, I definitely like that non-competing aspect of it. So it's dope, man. I'm looking forward to hearing where you're going next with these singles. Definitely deep dive in. Any help, any creative help, visual help, holler at us. That's what we do.
I'll be sure to have some questions. I'll definitely have some questions going forward.
Sure. I felt like you were being very reserved in this chat. Like he didn't even pour any rum, and he's like, "Nah, I don't trust myself." No,
because I told you already. Listen, I'm just now coming down, from yesterday's shenanigans. So I thought I intend to start again. I feel like maybe after we're recording, I'd like to actually try it. To be fair,
I'm on one point. You said, "You're alright, bro." I've been using that word, all month. Whereas shenanigans has been my word. I'm like, no, because there's no rules in this. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, what we did today? Shenanigans. It's gonna be stuff. But dope, man. Nah, dope. What's your socials?
So on Instagram it's at Rebel Simpson. Twitter at Rebel Simpson UK. You any of your streaming platforms, you literally just type in Rebel Simpson. You can also catch me on Facebook. I'm not as active on there.
No one is anymore.
Exactly. Didn't really want to, but yeah,
just put it out there. You know.
But Instagram is where I feel like if you really want to engage with me or you want to get to know who I am and see some of the stupidness that I do and I laugh at myself profusely, cry of laughter all the time. That's where you can really get a gauge on who I am as an artist, as an individual. Oh,
that's dope, man. You gotta keep telling artists that have been around for a while. You gotta dive into the other platforms, man. Use TikTok, use Triller, use them all. Like
I've been fighting TikTok. Really.
Just go, bro. Just go. Trust me. My youngsters have told me, like, bro, it's the truth. Don't get it twisted. As you get older, when new things come in, you're just like, oh, that damn fad. I'm not doing that. But you gotta remember, people were like that with Instagram. People were like that with MySpace. You know, you look at it as another outlet, even if you don't use it every day. It's something that you can just throw stuff up on, and if it goes viral, hey ho, you know that, and that's pretty much how TikTok works. If you see the people that have big followings, they found something that works and they replicate and they just keep repeating it. And that's so with that you're just testing stuff. It's not like Instagram where you post every single day, but you use everything at your disposal, man. Never look at anything and just kind of go. Like give it a go, you know, and that also goes for like information of people giving you advice and stuff. You know, just listen to it. You don't have to jump on everything, but just hear it. Yeah, definitely. Hear it for what it is, man. It's one of my main gems, and that's why I do these chats, because even though I've been in the industry for a very long time, I'm always learning something. So from a younger artist or an older artist, you might say something and I might go, you know what, it's got a point there.
You can always learn, definitly.
Always learning, man. Always learning. I saw an advert actually, and I can't remember what the brand was, and I love it. Idris Elba did the ad, and it was I think you guys might have heard it, and it says, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And he's asking like 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, and everybody laughs. But it's the concept of you're always learning. You can never say to yourself, you know, well, I'm done now. Yeah. You know, you're always learning. I sit and teach my nana how to use our mobile phone. Like, she's learning stuff all the time. Now she won't leave me alone. I love her FaceTimes, though. Nana's FaceTimes are like, Issa,
Yeah.
JJ. No, move the thing.
Like, let me see.
Move it down.